What is your American dream?
We won the diversity lottery. Both my parents and then my siblings and I got the chance to come because of that. But I always remember, like my dad saying when we were here, like, look, we did not move to America just so that you guys could play around. We moved for a better education. So get yourselves together. We moved around a lot, right? Because at some point we couldn't afford to be in our apartment. So I remember from apartment, we moved into a motel for a couple of months. But it was 6 of us in a 1-bedroom. Even though we were in a motel, at that point, my siblings and I, we didn't really understand that meant poverty. It was later down the line that you realize, oh, wait a minute, that's an unfortunate situation. I mean, now we've lived in stable housing for over 10 years. I mean, my goal is that we'll eventually be able to buy a home, have my parents' my own home. We're still renting, but we've not had to move for over 10 years. So it's been awesome to be able to see us get our foot on the ground. Of course, when we come, we depend on government subsidies, but to see us gradually fade away from that. So my American dream is that I want to be able to buy my parents their own home for the first time. Seeing that happen.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. We are live. My name is Brad Bernstein. Today is Tuesday, September 21st. And if we are live, I am always joined by Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, right to the right of me, and somewhere in the clouds, landing in Miami, the beautiful Vanessa Nesquik Contreras. What's happening, guys?
Chilling.
Hey.
I was just saying to Jonathan, I said, I like that American dream. That was a really nice one. And I don't know if we've played that one before, but I don't recall seeing it lately. And I said, that's a really nice American dream, that her dream, after living in a hotel room with her family of 6, and then eventually getting stable housing and living in the same rental apartment for 10 years. And obviously she's doing really well now, and she wants to save money and buy her parents a home.
Yeah.
Which is, almost like payback to your parents for doing everything you did for me. I thought that was really nice. It was funny because Jonathan and I both looked at each other and go, wow, that was a really nice dream.
Nice dream. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were all thinking it because I was sitting here and I'm like, okay, when Brad asks me how my day was, I'm going to say that my day was made because I don't feel like I had heard that one before and it really touched me.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah. I think because we could all kind of, relate to that.
Yeah.
One way or another, you want to always pay back your parents and make them proud. So for us, especially first generationals or people that came straight from, their country, they want to give back to their parents because they sacrificed so much.
And I remember interviewing her name was Fayasola Antoncola. I remember interviewing her, and she is the special Akintola, if I didn't pronounce her name right. She's the special. She works in the mayor of Pittsburgh's office, and she literally came here with nothing. And I remember even her telling her story that her parents were successful back in
home,
Africa.
Yeah. Usually it's like that.
Right, and then they came here with nothing and had to start from scratch again.
Yeah.
But very, very beautiful dream.
That's awesome.
I liked it.
Yeah.
And Brad, you're a parent, you're a parent, and it's like, we'll never be able, I guess, to give back for all that's been given to us, but it's the bare least. I know I'm super related to that because if there's anything I could do, just so you guys know, we did it. We did it.
And let me tell you something as a parent, okay? As a parent, and I would say most parents would be like, I can't tell you every parent, but as a parent, Vanessa, you see your children do well, even if they don't buy you a home, okay? That is the biggest gift a parent could receive because they say, you know what? I struggled, I worked hard to make this human being, and look how wonderful and successful they are. So as a parent, if you see your child succeed, that's, as far as I'm concerned, present enough. You want to buy me a house too, I'm happy to take it. Don't get me wrong, but but the present for the parent is just seeing your child succeed.
Right. I as an adult, I had to teach myself that because, we were all younger and we all wanted to do, something else with our life. And our parents was like, no, you have to go to school. You have to do this. You have to do that. And I'm like, I want to love my life, so I did what they wanted. I went to school, but I also still pursued my, my industry. And because I'm successful in my industry, now they're like, all right, it's all good.
That's right.
So like your parents just want to make sure that you're good. It's not that they want you to just be a doctor or engineer just for show, like they just want to make sure you're good. And now they support me. So like as an adult, you find out like that is the gift, just making sure that you're good, you're successful, and you're happy.
And you're a similar situation, both of you, because you're first generation here. How do your parents view you doing what you're doing, Vanessa?
Oh, so that's super funny. Yeah, I mean, my mom has always been a big believer and super supportive. And then my dad never really understood things. He actually used to make fun of me when I used to do like my YouTube videos. He's like, she really thinks she's going to make money with this makeup stuff.
Yeah.
This makeup stuff. I'm like, hey, I did it.
So there, voila.
It's because it's, this is an unknown world for them. They don't know,
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think, again, to summarize it, if your parents see you successful, ultimately, that's their present.
Carol Anderson, the Tiger, said, I built my mom a home in Jamaica. I love my mom. I give her anything. And that is huge. That's like,
there it is. That's
the most beautiful thing that you could do.
I believe that the tiger would have done that. She is a loving feline. Well, of course she would.
Yes.
All right, let's say hello to the squad. Princess Dyer saying hello to everybody. Willie L. Williams, squad up. Dion Reed, how are you? Stargirl Mika, squad up. Wissam Al Wal Salha. Hello, Brad. Hello. Vinca Yo-Yo. I don't know who Vinca is, but hello, Vinca, too.
Vinca.
Mel Caballero, squad up. Joan Ambitious Powell. Asila Enot, squad up. Myrtle Ray. Cynthia Wallace. Gowie Maxine, squad up family checking in. Really missed the squad when you guys were on your little hiatus. Welcome back. It was just a little.
It was a
small little hiatus. Not a big thing.
Yeah, we're still here.
We're still here. I agree. Elizabeth Francis, I apologize that I'm just repeating everything that Jonathan is saying. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I'm like, yeah, we're still here. I'm like, yeah, we're still here. Like, I don't know, it sounds good when it comes out of my mouth. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Shani Barbie, squad up. Vanessa Lena M. Contreras in the comments said she loved the story.
Oh.
I didn't even know you were going to say that. So we were all in.
We was all in sync.
In sync there.
Yep.
Cynthia Wallace, how are you? And Demba South, squad up.
Ooh, Nola Kalon is from Sierra Leone.
Ooh.
So squad up to you.
Yes. And Annette Campbell Miller, how are you? Let's check out what's going on YouTube. Jessica Leamy Davis.
Yeah.
It's Jessica. Is Davis is her last name now?
Yeah.
Yep. Jessica Leamy Davis saying squad up on YouTube. Asila Enoch, she is double fisting Jean Love. Elizabeth Francis. Sol Gara. Hello, sir. Can I win my defensive asylum in a current situation? I don't know anything. I know about asylum. I know how to win asylum cases. I don't know anything about your particular case, but yes, people are winning asylum cases in removal hearings. Manuj Gautam, squad up. Dawa Sherpa and Olusugan Gabadamosi.
There you go.
Saying hello, Kamar Harris, Danny Boy, Adiola, Adewumi, Ginger Juice. Saying hey everybody.
And shout out to Kalisha Taylor.
Yeah.
Saying Brad, don't forget me.
Where is she?
She's on Facebook.
Oh, I see. I didn't see her. Kalisha, how are you? Squad up to you. Vanessa, say hello to Kalisha. Make sure she's doesn't feel forgotten.
squad up, Felicia.
All right, so why don't you guys take it away?
Absolutely. All right, squad, it's time to share. Please share on all social media platforms because we're about to start schmoozing with Brad, talking headlines, including the Democrats' Plan B after the Senate parliamentarians' guidance against a proposal to provide a pathway to citizenship for millions of people and the reconciliation budget.
And it's a Tuesday, squad, so we'll be sipping celebrity tea with Brad, including the huge wave Nicki Minaj made after tweeting why she did not attend last week's Met Gala.
And you can call us right now with your immigration questions after our schmooze and our Tuesday tea. I will be answering your immigration questions. Call us right now, 1-800-529-5465. Our telephone lines are open. We do have available slots. If you call now, you'll get on our show. If you call later, you won't. I can assure you that. 1-800-529-5465, international, 212-227-8933. And everybody always asks, Brad, how can we reach you? How can we call you? Well, our telephone number is going to be scrolling at the bottom of the screen for the entire show, where it says call Spar and Bernstein. Surprisingly, it is the same exact telephone number I just announced. 1-800-529-5465, international, 212-227-8933. 8933. And later in the show, I am going to be speaking with award-winning Syrian visual artist Rashwan Abdelbaki, who has been based in the New York area since January 2017, arriving in America just 1 week before the Trump administration's travel ban went into effect.
Sheesh.
He just made it out by the skin of his teeth. And of course,
what does that mean?
The skin of his teeth?
There's no skin on your teeth. Whenever people say that, I'm like, there's no skin on your teeth.
I don't know. You're right. You're right. There is no skin on your teeth. Maybe by your lips they're talking about?
Maybe in reference to the gums? No?
The gums.
The skin of your teeth?
The gums. What they should be saying is he just made it in by the gums of his teeth. But that doesn't sound as good as the skin of your teeth. But yes, there's a lot of sayings that make no sense. Right? Yeah. But it is what it is. You know, I'll give you a perfect example. You know what makes no sense? When somebody says, oh, you're from the upper crust. You know where they got the upper crust from?
Where is that from?
That's from Britain, because when the kings and queens would make their breads, they would always cut off the upper crust of the bread, and they would throw it away. And,
so that's a bad part of the crust.
So, but if you didn't have money, you wouldn't throw any bread away.
Right.
So if you were part of the upper crust, then you would just.
Okay.
So everything has a.
Well, that kind of has a meaning.
Has a meaning from something. All right, let's do some schmoozing.
Let's do it.
Excuse me while I clear my throat. Excuse me while I clear my throat a second time. Isn't that the start of a rap song? Let me clear my throat.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Let me clear my throat.
Right. But that I wasn't doing that.
You weren't? Oh, okay.
No, I was just. It just reminded me as I was coughing. All right, Vanessa. There's something about me that I kind of knew what was going to happen when nobody knew what was going to happen. It came out in the news today, immigration reform, their Plan B. Plan B has come out, and they're going to go back, the Democrats are going to go back to the parliamentarian with Plan B. They are scrapping the essential amnesty workers. They're scrapping amnesty for DACA. They are scrapping amnesty for TPS. They are going to scrap amnesty for agricultural workers. And what they are going to do is exactly what I said yesterday. And by the way, this was before this was even in the paper. It just seemed the most obvious thing to do. They are going to now go to the parliamentarian and see if they change the registry date, which is the old form of amnesty back from 1972. It's still on the books today. There is a form of amnesty that says that if you were in the United States as of January 1st, 1972, you get a green card. They want to now change that date. What will the date be? Will the date be January 1st, 2010, January 1st, 2015, January 1st, 2020? My guess is it will be January 1st, 2020, and it will be anybody who has not obtained permanent residence will be eligible for this form of amnesty. You would have to prove continuous residence from whatever date they choose, that you never left the United States and that you never obtained a green card previously. Those were the two rules for registry previously. So people, for example, unfortunately in the registry, people who had green cards and got ordered deported and never left the United States, had their green cards taken away from them, they wouldn't be eligible for the registry program. People who got a 2-year green card and were not able to remove the conditions of that green card also would not be eligible. It would be only people who never had a green card before, and it's going to be based on a specific date that has not been announced yet. My guess is it will be January 1st, 2020. I hope that's what it is.
And that means anybody before
who can prove that they were in, this is how it works. You had to prove you were in the United States on the specific day, which would be, right now it's January 1st, 1972. If they move it to January 1st, 2020, it would be you had to prove you were here on that specific day, January 1st, 2020, and that you have remained in the United States on that day, moving forward up until the point that you applied for your adjustment of status based on the registry.
Wow, that would be
if
insane if it was 2020.
If it would be insane as 2020, it would cover not only the DACA, and it wouldn't matter age. It would cover essential workers. You wouldn't have to worry about, I work in a restaurant. Am I an essential worker? I work in a bakery. Is baking cookies essential? I drive a truck, but I'm driving this. I'm not driving that. You just eliminate. It just makes it much easier. Okay. The other thing that they're going to do, again, never mentioned in the news before yesterday. I just assumed that's what it was going to be. They're going to bring back 245I. So even if that would cover people who maybe were not in the United States on January 1st, 2020, or maybe they'll pick January 1st, 2015. I don't know what date they're going to pick. But other than that, people would still be able to start a job sponsorship, a family sponsorship. As long as that application goes in by a certain date, you would be grandfathered under the law and be eligible to pay a penalty fee and adjust your status here as well. So those look like the two programs that they're going to do to change the immigration laws. They believe that by doing both of those, they can cover almost 67 to 70% of the undocumented immigrants in the United States to legalize them. To tell you the truth, these two changes, Plan B, it would cover more people than the DACA, than the original ones.
Wow. So it's even better.
To me, it's better, and it's easier.
Yeah.
It's an easier case to prove. It's much easier to prove you were here on this day than it is to prove you worked as an essential worker.
And as well as right now in immigration, with everything happening with COVID and all the books being backed up, it's kind of a smoother funnel to say, okay, if you were here from January 2020 and then yes, this pandemic happened, we can filter through it, is my assumption. No?
Yes. Now, the one drawback is that people who may have worked as essential workers, who worked on farms, who recently arrived, may be left out of the registry programs depending on what day they choose. Maybe they'll pick the day the pandemic started, that day in March. That would be a smart date too. March 2021. If you were physically here on the day COVID began, that we started I don't know what day they're going to pick. Okay, so it depends. People may or may not be left out depending on the day they pick. Of course, all of this has to pass the parliamentarian.
Right.
Now, going back to why the parliamentarian didn't pass the first one, she said these are new laws. You can't make a new law and say you're doing this for the budget. This is a new law. The increase to the United States budget in terms of revenue that is being generated from this new law is ancillary to the fact that you're making a new law. This is now the reverse. Both Registry and 245I are existing laws. All they are doing is changing a sentence in what is a long law, which is changing the date. And by changing the date in an existing law, they are raising revenue.
Big time.
And they believe now that this would be a revenue generating program that hopefully would pass muster with the parliamentarian. So we will know a little more over the next few days. Now, if the parliamentarian says no again, if the parliamentarian says yes, then the next step is we got to believe that that the Democrats have the votes, the 50 votes in the Senate plus the majority in the House to pass this. We just have to hope that the progressives and the moderate Democrats can get together to pass the rest of the reconciliation. It's not gonna be immigration holding back the reconciliation. It's gonna be the cost of the reconciliation. Now, if the parliamentarian does not accept this, then the Democrats have a choice to make. They can scrap immigration and not do it. They can overrule the parliamentarian and say, we're going to bring this up for a vote anyway, despite the fact of what you say. They can fire the parliamentarian and bring in a new parliamentarian who will agree with them.
They can fire?
Of course they can.
Wow.
They can be fired by majority vote, the Democrats. So they still have choices, but obviously those choices would not be as good. It would be a lot more fraught with, you're gaming the system.
Right.
This is not a democratic system anymore. Then having the parliamentarian saying, yes, you can include this in the budget reconciliation. So that is where we are at the present time with immigration reform. Plan B.
It just makes sense to agree, though.
Yes. They should call it Plan B for Bradshaw Live.
Because that's where this came out before.
It all came out before. That's right.
Yeah. You heard it here first, folks.
You did. You did hear it here first. That is correct. So we'll see what happens over the next few days. Maybe this was their plan all along. Maybe they felt they didn't have a chance with Plan A and they wanted to do Plan B, but had to present Plan A first.
Right.
You don't know what's going on behind closed doors.
I mean, that makes sense too.
We don't know. Meanwhile, did you see the horrific footage of the ICE officers at the border using horses and the reins of the horses, almost like using it like a whip.
Like cattle,
using it like a whip. The reins from the horses, using it like a whip. Almost like, like they did back on the plantations.
That's
almost.
Exactly what it looks like.
Right, using whips to prevent people from crossing back over the border. Now, Press Secretary Jen Psaki, is that how you pronounce her name? Psaki, I guess? She said, Psaki, the P is silent.
Yes.
She said, I've seen some of the footage. I don't have the full context. I can't imagine what context would make that appropriate. The video was taken by Al Jazeera and Reuters. And as we're looking at this footage right now, it appears to show law enforcement officers on horseback using these aggressive tactics, confronting migrants, and using the reins of the horse to whip them and literally prevent them from walking across the water. In the Al Jazeera video, a law enforcement officer on horseback is seen, I think we're watching this now, swirling the long reins near a group of migrants. Beforehand, another individual on horseback, we don't hear the audio of this, but another individual on horseback is heard yelling at the migrants saying, "You use your women, that is why your country is shit, because you use your women for this."
Gosh.
Although the profanity is redacted in the video report, Al Jazeera English reporter John Holman published the full quote. A crowded makeshift encampment in Del Rio where thousands of migrants, including families Pregnant women and babies have gathered under the Del Rio International Bridge. They're sleeping in dirt, surrounded by garbage, exposed to the elements. They don't have food. They don't have water, all in hopes of being processed by the Department of Homeland Security.
Sick.
Trifling.
That's
Troubling.
yeah.
Troubling.
Far past trifling.
Troubling. Trifling. I don't know what word to use.
Yeah.
Now, earlier Monday, the head of the Department of Homeland Security, Mayorkas, said that according to the U.S. Border Control Chief Raul Ortiz, the long reins are used to ensure control of the horse. But we are going to investigate the facts to ensure that the situation is as we understand it to be, and if it's anything different, we will respond accordingly. I think it is what it is.
Right.
Your eyes don't deceive you. Let's look at that one more time. Could it be anything other than what we're looking at right now?
Wow.
Did he just knock that person over with his reins?
Sick.
And imagine what they'd do if anyone did get over.
Yeah. And by the way, this is just 5 seconds of video. Who knows what happened?
And
in the hours and hours before and after.
My thing is, they know they're getting recorded. So imagine if there weren't any phones. Yeah. Like it was back in the day when we didn't have phones. I think it would have been 100 times worse as well.
If there were no phones, nobody would know this is happening.
Exactly.
All right. Nobody would have known this was happening, period.
So sad.
Yeah. And George Floyd would have just been another number.
Not even a number. A number that means you've acknowledged it.
No, a number that he died in police custody, and that was it. But nobody would have.
Nobody would have known.
No one would have known. Right. Meanwhile, in Texas, a San Antonio doctor performed an abortion in defiance of the new Texas law that prevents people from getting an abortion. He did it to test the legality of the state's total ban on the procedure. Now, former attorneys in Arkansas and Illinois filed lawsuits yesterday against Dr. Alan Braid, who in a weekend Washington Post opinion column became the first Texas abortion provider to publicly reveal he violated the law.
Wow.
These two attorneys are actually in cahoots with the doctor. They agreed to sue him because the doctor wants to defend himself and say this entire law.
Oh, wow.
So they're all doing this together. They're not adversaries of this.
Okay.
They're all on the same team.
I'm here for that.
Yeah. Now, one of the Felipe N. Gomez of Chicago, he's one of the lawyers, asked the court in San Antonio in his lawsuit. He sued the doctor and then asked the court in a lawsuit to declare the new law unconstitutional, saying it is government overreach. He said his lawsuit is a way to hold the Republicans who run Texas accountable, adding their lax response to the COVID pandemic conflicts with their crackdown on abortion rights. He said in his lawsuit, if Republicans are going to say nobody can tell you to get a vaccine shot, they shouldn't tell women what to do with their bodies either.
For real.
Now, this is how the law works. The law prohibits abortions once medical professionals can detect cardiac activity, which is usually around 6 weeks, and before some women even know they are pregnant. Prosecutors cannot take criminal action against Baird. The law explicitly forbids that. The only way the ban can be forced is through a lawsuit brought by a private citizen who is entitled to claim at least $10,000 damages if successful. Suits can be brought against anyone who assists in abortion after 6 weeks. Braid wrote that on September 6th in the Washington Post, he provided an abortion to a woman who was still in her first trimester, but beyond the state's new limit. Can you imagine, Vanessa, having a stillborn in your body, but because it hasn't, flushed itself out of your body, you have to walk around with a dead baby?
You still have to keep it if it's a stillborn?
Yeah.
No, I'm beside myself. I can't. And then shortly after, some of these laws, I think they were trying to start implementing them in Florida as well. I cannot tell you how much this is so hurtful as a woman. It's insane.
Meanwhile,
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Meanwhile, yesterday, more than 500 current and former female athletes have urged the United States Supreme Court to reject a Mississippi law that would prohibit abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy. In an amicus brief filed yesterday, an amicus brief is a friend of the court saying, I'm not part of this lawsuit, but I have a stake in the outcome. So even though these female athletes are not being sued in this lawsuit or are not suing Mississippi in this lawsuit, when you file an amicus brief in the Supreme Court, you're saying, I'm not part of this lawsuit. I'm not a defendant. I'm no party in this lawsuit, but I have a stake in the outcome. So they filed an amicus brief, and they're citing the importance of bodily integrity and decisional autonomy to their individual careers and women's sports as a whole. And I have to tell you something. They make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Okay. At first, let me say that the list of signatories include 26 Olympians, 73 professional athletes, 276 college athletes, all females. Some of the biggest names in women's sports, including Megan Rapinoe, WNBA veteran Sue Bird, Breanna Stewart, Diana Taurasi. Now, Rapinoe said in a statement, I'm honored to stand with the hundreds of athletes who have signed onto the Supreme Court brief to help champion not only our constitutional rights, but those of future generations of athletes. Physically, we push ourselves to the absolute limit. So to have forces within this country trying to deny us control over our own bodies is infuriating and un-American and will be met with fierce resistance. In their amicus brief, the athletes argue that additional abortion restrictions like those in Mississippi and Texas would have wide-ranging consequences on women's sports, undermining athletes' fundamental rights. In one of several first-person statements, former Team USA swimmer and Olympic gold medalist Chrissy Perham reveals that she had an abortion after accidentally becoming pregnant in college, despite being on birth control. And she went on to win a national title that summer, qualify for the 1992 Summer Games in Barcelona, and win 3 Olympic medals, including 2 golds.
And she wouldn't have.
She would not have been able to do it had abortion not been legal in where she was, and they forced her to carry that baby. She would have missed the Olympics. She would have missed qualifying for the Olympics. She wrote, I made the choice that was right for me and my future, and I stand by my decision. That choice ultimately led me to being an Olympian, a college graduate, and a proud mother today. And they also argue that infringements on abortion care have broader Title IX implications, citing a direct connection between reproductive rights and gender equality. For example, by the way, Title IX is a man and a woman have to be treated equally. That's what Title IX is. So in their argument, and I think this makes sense, if the government compels women athletes to carry pregnancy to term and give birth, it could derail a woman's athletic career, her academic future, her economic livelihood on a large scale. Such a fundamental restriction on bodily integrity and human autonomy would never be imposed on a male, though the male is equally responsible for getting the female pregnant. So you're going to say to a woman, you can't now be in the Olympics. You can't qualify for the Olympics. She would not have been able to. She would not have been able to get 2 gold medals. But the male, let's say it was, I don't know, who's a famous swimmer? What's his name?
Michael Phelps.
Michael Phelps. I don't know Michael Phelps. I'm sure is not the father. But if Michael Phelps was the father,
he could still go.
He could still go to the Olympics.
And not think twice.
Yeah. So I think it's a strong argument.
Yeah.
And makes sense to me.
Same.
Meanwhile, Biden was, were you in Midtown today?
No.
Very crowded.
No.
Very crowded. It's UN week. President Biden spoke before the United Nations, right there on 1st and 42nd.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Were you ever inside the United Nations building?
No.
It's very pretty in there.
Yeah?
Yes.
No.
President Biden, he delivered his debut address to the annual gathering of world leaders. He said all the right things. Blah, 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 blah. We all want to work together. We all want to do the right thing. Let's all be friends. Kind of what he said. But, you know, his efforts to move America past Trump, more confrontational policies, is getting a lot of frustration in Europe amongst our allies with the sale of the submarines to Australia. And, you know, basically the French have recalled their ambassador to the United States.
Yeah.
Do you know that? The first time ever. The French ambassador has returned to France because the United States sold submarines to Australia, and Australia then canceled the submarine contract with France. When the ambassador returns,
Right.
you know what that's like? It's like F you and slam the door.
Yeah.
It's like slamming the door.
Pissed.
I'm pissed. So a lot of people are pissed at the United States. We left Afghanistan. We don't got to talk about that. So, you know, it's a lot of let's make nice, but in a way, Biden, not to the extent of the inflammatory language of Donald Trump, but in a sense of America first, Donald Trump, yeah, that guy, he's kind of following along, you know, not leading as a team of democracies, but kind of leading like whatever's best for America. So that's what many of our American allies are upset about, that because they believe that Biden was going to be more of a team player, that we would be, just like it is the United States, we would be a united front of democratic countries, but instead it still seems to be USA first. Even though Biden's rhetoric is not as...
Yeah.
Inflammatory. What'd I say? Did I say a different word than inflammatory? I didn't say anything. Okay. Meanwhile, coronavirus. Jill's talking in my ear.
I was like, huh?
I'm just talking to myself. What's wrong with Uncle Brad? He's just talking to himself.
I looked over too. Like,
Meanwhile, the United States has reported more than 42 million coronavirus cases. Today, Johnson & Johnson. This is very important to me because I have the Johnson & Johnson side. They released new data showing a booster dose of its vaccine given 2 months after the one-shot vaccine provides 94% protection against moderate and severe COVID symptoms. And if you get a booster more than 6 months, you get 100% protection against severe or critical symptoms of COVID, including Delta.
oh.
Yes. So, and according to the latest Fox News poll, majority support mask and vaccine mandates advocated by the Biden administration. So I said to Jilly today, I said, Jilly, does that mean I should get the second shot? Because they still haven't made it clear.
Right.
Should I? Should I not? Am I supposed to do it? Jill goes, I don't know. They just came out and says it gives you great protection. I'm like, well, am I supposed to do it or am I not supposed to do it? I don't know. I go, if you don't know, I don't know.
You're right.
Nobody knows.
We don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know. All right. Do you have any tea?
Let's get it.
Let's get some tea. See what's going on. Let's see what's going on. What do we got as tea? We have a butler?
Yo,
We have a butler today?
a butler with a message.
A butler with a message. What does his message say? Congratulations, Mrs. Davis.
Hit the salad, Julian.
All right.
We got chai tea.
What do we
today.
have today?
Chai tea today.
Ooh,
Chai tea.
With-
tea.
I think this is milk.
Oh, I don't want
Ooh,
milk.
Steamed milk.
Ooh,
Steamed milk.
steamed
Oh,
milk.
wow. You're getting fancy.
Right.
Where'd you get steamed milk from?
Wow.
I have my ways.
Boys are
I like steamed milk.
Steamed milk.
Chai tea.
How do we? It's okay. Let's move on. Here's some milk.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Very well.
I've never
you.
had tea and milk before.
Oh, me, I have.
Yeah,
I do
I
all
usually
the
put
time.
lemon in my tea. This is
Ooh.
chai tea. Let's see if this is good.
Let me clean up a little bit. Sheesh.
Oh, it's very good, Vanessa. It's excellent.
I love chai. I love chai.
I don't hear you, Vanessa, but I'm telling you, this is the best.
Good.
This is the best tea they ever gave me.
This is good.
I
With
like
the
this.
steamed milk. Goodness.
With the steamed milk, I like it. You
Getting
know what?
fancy.
I'm gonna have this off air.
Yeah.
This is amazing. Our Jeremy knows how to make some tea.
Yeah, Butler. Sorry,
Wow,
I'm like
this is very
getting all my
good.
stuff together.
And for those who are just joining us for the first time on Tuesdays, we stop our show for 5 minutes every Tuesday just to have some tea.
Not 5 minutes.
Not for 5 minutes, but seems like it's 5 minutes.
Right.
Very yummy.
All right, let's see what's in some tea news here. Nicki Minaj talking
Whoa.
about COVID vaccines. Is she basically? Let's read it first. All right. She didn't go to the Met Gala this year because she had to be vaccinated, and she said, "I'm not going to get vaccinated."
Right.
She refused to do it. And she said, I don't know enough about these vaccines. I don't want to get vaccinated. And the Met Gala is not important enough for me to go. Despite the fact that Rihanna, A$AP Rocky, Kim Kardashian, Jennifer Lopez, they were all there. Obviously, all of those celebrities were vaccinated or they would not have been allowed to go. And she is fiercely defending herself, letting it be known she will not be getting the COVID shot until she does more research. She declared if she gets vaccinated, it will not be for the Met. It'll be once. I feel I've done enough research. I'm working on that now. But then 20 minutes later, she dropped the bomb.
That was it.
The bomb. And the bomb was, she said her friend in Trinidad got the vaccine.
I think
No, it's her cousin.
Her cousin's
it was her
friend or
cousin in
something like
Trinidad
that.
got the vaccine, became impotent. His testicles became swollen. He said that he was weeks away from getting married, and now the girl called off the wedding.
Yeah, her cousin's friend.
Cousin's friend. So just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision and not bullied. First of all, she called out the poor guy. Okay, who now is known, I'm sure everyone figured out who the poor guy is.
I'm sure.
Okay, so the poor guy.
When you have 22.8 million followers on Twitter.
Right. Okay, it turned out that it was not true what happened. Okay, and perhaps he did get swollen testicles. Who's that a picture of?
It might be her cousin's friend.
Perhaps he got swollen testicles, but apparently has nothing to do with the vaccine.
Right.
She also shared a screenshot of news headlines and called them all lies. 3 lies in a row from huge news platforms. I cited my young child as why I didn't want to travel, but notice now none of them mentioned that. Ask yourself why it was. She pointed out that her critics are purposely ignoring her prior tweets encouraging people to get vaccinated.
And
so what do you think of all of
this?
this?
She got COVID.
She had COVID, yeah.
Now.
She has COVID at this very moment.
Yeah, so that's why she was prepping for the VMAs and
Right.
shot a music video, I think, and that's when she got COVID. So now I think she's doing more research, and
so it basically goes down to is she a fierce defender of scientific research and deciding what you want with your own body, or is she just crazy and trying to make headlines?
No, she's definitely not trying to make headlines. It's just
Or is she just crazy?
No, the only unfortunate thing is, she says stuff like how we all say stuff. Like sometimes we'll tweet something and be like, oh, I heard this and I heard that, and it might not be true, but she's just saying it. But the fact is you have like 22 million followers on Twitter, 158 million on Instagram. You have a lot of people watching what you say. So it's unfortunate to be a public figure. You really have to pay attention to what you say. I don't think she was trying to make headlines or anything like that, though. She's trying to stay out of headlines because she's actually about to be in it a lot worse because her husband is I guess the girl that said that he abused her or sexually harassed her or something. She's about to get interviewed on The Real next week. So I don't think she want to be in the headlines.
Now, just as an epilogue to all of this, she said she is now satisfied with her research. This was only within days. Okay, the COVID vaccine has been out for at least what is it now, 9-10 months. She wants to do more research, but since all of this,
which is okay,
all of this has come out within days. She has completed her research now and says that she will take the COVID vaccine, and then ask for recommendations from her fans. And most of the fans says take the Pfizer shot. At least Nicki Minaj's fans say take the Pfizer shot. Now, Vanessa, you were somebody who delayed taking the vaccine and then ultimately did it. Did you do it because you did the research and said you feel safe? Did you do it because you're like, well, everybody's doing it and this is what you need to do? How did you come to your decision?
I felt like enough people around me were doing it where it was okay. And I felt like if I wanted to feel somewhat normal, it seemed like this was something that was going to be asked of me. So I just went ahead and decided to do it. I didn't really think about it too much. It's just like, I feel like eventually it's either this or something else, but we're all gonna have to end up doing this. So I'd rather just do this now.
Okay. And by the way, so she's getting vaccinated now, and apparently, the controversy is over.
Yeah.
And she missed the Met Gala for all of this.
Yeah, she did.
Right. And her poor cousin's friend got called out with swollen testicles. That's basically the epilogue of the story.
Yeah. I mean, it got big because even Dr. Fauci came out and, started speaking.
What got big?
Not the testicles. We don't know about that. The story did.
Yes, Dr. Fauci waited too.
Yeah, so it was big enough.
Yeah, right.
No pun intended.
Yeah, meanwhile, Britney Spears, she's getting engaged. How many times has she been married? This will be her third marriage, right? She was married to Kevin Federline, and she was married to a dancer, one of her dancers, I forgot his name. And now she's marrying Sam Asghari. Now, who is this guy, Sam Asghari? He's like this
model guy.
Muscle guy,
I mean,
is this Britney's trophy husband?
I mean, they've been together since 2016.
Yeah. Is this a trophy husband for Britney? Like just some good-looking dude with abs?
I mean, they look like
she's fun. Britney Spears. She's like, why not? I mean, I deserve a trophy husband.
Yeah, they look like they have fun. They look like they love each other. Listen. About
I mean,
me
she's
and
a trophy too. But in other words, I think this is the trophy husband for her.
She deserves.
She deserves it. You think so? Is he? Do you like his look? Is he a good-looking guy?
Yeah, he's a handsome guy.
Handsome dude, right? Handsome dude.
Yeah.
I mean, he's no yo-yo.
Right.
He's no yo-yo, but I think he's a handsome dude.
He'll definitely. The Queen of Pop can certainly have that.
Right.
Now she has a ring. It was designed by New York-based designer Roman Maleev. The pair first met in 2016 when Asghari co-starred with Spears in the video of her single "Slumber Party."
All I know is that there was some funny talk, Olivia Spencer, I think that's her name. She was like, make sure you sign a prenup. And he actually commented back
on
it. What did he say? I think he said something to the fact where it was like, yeah, I'm going to make sure I protect myself, my baseball cap. And, something funny. But right. I guess they're going to do a prenup.
Yeah,
I mean, it would be smart.
Yeah, he joked that he wanted a prenup to protect his Jeep and his shoes.
Yeah.
But the reality is a prenup is not only in the cards, it's actually necessary.
There you go. Well, that's good.
I mean, it's necessary for her.
Yeah.
She'd be a fool not to.
Because remember how I said, I want her to have her money, but it's I still want her to protect herself. And I don't know if she's all the way
because this came right after she just got rid of her conservatorship, right? So her father ended it. She now has her money. She now has freedom. During that conservatorship, talking about not having freedom of your own body. Mm-hmm. Okay, she was making claims that her conservator, her father, the conservatorship was, preventing her from having a child.
Yeah.
Talk about not having freedom over your own body. I mean, that was a terrible thing as well. So she's free from the conservatorship, or on her way to being free from the conservatorship. She is getting engaged to Sam. Things are going her way.
I'm happy for her.
Life.
and living the best life.
Good job.
All right. So let's get to our Braducation. In today's Braducation, I talk about the 6 things you should never post on social media if you are trying to get a visa or United States residency. Let's watch. My goal is straightforward, to make the law usable and easy to understand for everyone. All of us in the United States have equal rights and should have an equal opportunity and a right to justice. I'm here to help because I want everybody to achieve their American dream. I'm Brad Bernstein, and this is your Immigration Braducation. I'm not here to tell you what you want to know. I'm here to tell you what you need to know. U.S. immigration law is complex and the regulations are constantly changing. My objective is to make the law easy for you to understand so that you can use the justice system, know your rights, take advantage of the law, and achieve your American dream. The Department of Homeland Security collects the social media information of not only anyone who's trying to get a visa or United States residency, but even those who are already naturalized United States citizens. From aliases to photos to likes, all of this is collected and stored in your permanent immigration digital files. So social media posts can be used against you in your immigration case. Now, obviously, the first rule of thumb is to use common sense and think before you post for all the world to see. But some posts that can get you in trouble might really surprise you. Number 1, don't post that you're getting a new job. Number 2, do not post that you are looking for work in the United States if you do not have work authorization. 3, do not post questions on how to set up a United States company in order to obtain a visa. 4, if you are traveling to the United States on a non-immigrant visa, do not post for immigration lawyer suggestions. Number 5, do not post green card questions about getting married. This will raise red flags to the authorities. 6, do not post photographs of yourself which you look like you have multiple girlfriends or boyfriends if you're going into the immigration service for your bona fide marriage interview. Now, a picture is only a moment in time, and who knows who this person is with your arm around them. But if you have no pictures of your spouse, but lots of pictures of you hanging out with other people in a way that can be deemed flirtatious or suspicious, it's very possible the immigration officer will be looking at your social media and asking you questions about this, and then start questioning the validity of your bona fide marriage. All right, you got a question, I've got some immigration answers. You're giving me your questions, and I'm giving you my answers. Let's go to Ulrich in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Ulrich, how are you?
I'm good, Brad. How are you?
Good. What can I do to help you today?
Yes, I have a quick question to know. I just got my conditional green card, and then I'm preparing myself to go visit my country.
Great.
And then I will be traveling using my national passport.
Okay.
Is that okay for me to go there and just come back with my passport since it's still valid without any issue?
I don't understand what your problem is. You have a conditional green card. You're
Yes.
Where are you from?
I am from Burundi. It's a country in East Africa.
Okay. And you're using your Burundi's passport to travel to Burundi, and then you're going to return with the Burundi passport with your green card. What's the problem?
Yeah, just want to know if there won't be any problem at all.
Did you ever apply for asylum? Is that what your concern is?
No, I never.
You as a green card holder travel with your country's passport to enter any country in the world. Okay? So how it works is there's nothing that the U.S. government gives you to enter another country until you're a citizen. Then you use a U.S. passport. Until then, you're using Burundi's passport. You want to go to Burundi, you use your Burundi passport. You want to go to South Africa, you use your Burundi passport. You want to go to UK, you use your Burundi passport. And then you got to look in Google and say, wait a second, using a Burundi passport, am I allowed to enter the UK? Do I need a visa? Am I allowed to enter here? Do I need a visa? So it's always your Burundi passport when you are leaving, okay? When you're returning to the United States, You have to show your
Yes.
Burundi passport as identification. You show your green card, which is basically your visa to allow you to come back, your entry document.
All right.
So
all
you're
right. That's
fine.
what
You're fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks. I
You're
appreciate
very
it so
welcome.
much.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go to Gary in Atlanta. Gary.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I got a question about expediting. My wife and daughter's CR1 case was documented disqualified.
You're very low, Gary. Can you talk into your phone louder, please?
I got two CR1, a CR1 and a CR2 case that was documented disqualified back in April. In June, I expedited them, and they was approved in July. Well, the end of July, and August 6th, they were sent to Manila. And I still haven't heard anything from them. I've done this on a medical expedite, and we still haven't
So
heard
you need to expedite each step of the way. So you expedite at the I-130 stage, you expedite at the NVC stage. You now have to contact the U.S. Embassy in Manila and expedite it there as well.
It's already in Manila.
You expedite it there. It's sitting in a room. Nobody knows it's expedited.
Well, I got the email from the National Visa Center where I expedited
But you don't,
this
I
case.
understand that. They expedited it in the sense that they found the file, they shipped it to Manila. The people in Manila, they don't know. It's not like the guy at the National Visa Center calls up the embassy in Manila and says, hey, we got an expedited case. Make sure you schedule it. That's up to Manila. They get, a million documents coming back and forth all the time. So now you have to bring it to the attention of someone in Manila to expedite it again.
That's hard to do. They won't answer the phone. They don't answer the live chat.
What about an email?
My wife emailed them, and she got the automated response, and they haven't replied back.
Okay, so then you need a good attorney to reach out to somebody there. Okay, hold on, but that's what needs to happen. Hold on. Okay, let's go to Hamva in Santa Clara, California. Hamva.
Hello, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good, good. What can I do to help you today?
Yes, I have a very quick question. I had a P1 entry and entered the country in and out like 10 times. At my last entry, due to COVID, I couldn't exit. So I did an extension. While the extension is pending, I fell in love and got married to a U.S. citizen.
Okay.
And that was like 4 months ago. And I have my notice of actions. But 2 days ago, I got an RFE about my B1 extension. What should I do?
Ignore it. And you're going to write them back and say, I have filed for my adjustment of status, so this is irrelevant. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so withdraw it.
Will this have any effect in my adjustment of status pending?
It only has an effect if you made an application to extend your tourist visa and you make that application and within a 90-day period of extending your tourist visa, you then filed an adjustment of status. It may be a misrepresentation on the tourist visa extension. If you made a tourist visa extension and then 90 days after that you filed your adjustment, that would not be a misrepresentation. And what the misrepresentation would be, if it was done within that 90 days, is you made an application to the government saying, I want to visit here for a few more months and I'm going to go home. And within 90 days, all of a sudden your life changed backwards and now you're married and getting a green card. And what the government would say is, you knew you were going to do that when you filed for that tourist visa extension. So that's the misrepresentation. If it happens more than 90 days, the government assumes you changed your mind.
Okay, thank you. And the P1 extension was done on March 2020, and I fell in love and got married in 2021.
Oh, then you're fine.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye.
Let's go to Jenny in Wilmington, Delaware.
Hi, Brad. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. My VAWA petition was approved in July of this year. And on August the 12th, I received a I-693 deficiency notice. That is tied up with the I-485.
Yep, that's for your medical.
Yes. So now they said do not mail the documents at this time, but they're going to ask for a referral.
What's going to happen?
I'm concerned.
What's going to happen is you're going to get an interview for your green card. Ultimately, that's the I-485, and what they're saying is you got to bring a new medical, but not to send the medical now. Bring it to the interview, but don't do the medical until the interview is scheduled, because the medical is only good for 60 days before the interview.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I just did the medical. Well, at least I have the paperwork. I can go back and do it again.
Yeah, you'll have to do it again. I mean, you did it, so you paid for it. If you get an interview in the next 60 days, you'll use it. If not, you may have to do it again.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Okay, Jenny. Good luck. Okay.
Sure. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Odie in Dallas. Odie.
Hey.
Hi.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm calling from Dallas, Texas. I have a quick question. I was married for 5 years. Last year they denied my petition. So I just want to ask: is there any way I can reopen my application again?
Why did they deny your petition last year?
They denied.
What happened to Odie? Odie, you there? Oh, wait. So, okay.
Yes.
All right. I lost you. Why did they deny it?
They denied. They said it's a bona fide marriage.
They didn't believe it was a bona fide marriage?
Yes.
Okay. Is it a bona fide marriage?
No.
It's not?
Yes.
Yes or no?
No.
Oh, Odie.
Yes?
It's you, Odie.
I'm here.
If it's real or if it's fake.
Okay. Is this a real marriage or a fake marriage? Maybe you don't understand the question.
It's a remarriage.
Ah, thank God, Odie. You gave me a heart attack. Thank you very much, Jonathan. All right, so it's a real marriage. You weren't able to prove it. Then you're not going to reopen the petition. You're going to file a new adjustment, and we're going to do a better job for you.
Okay.
Okay. You need the help of a lawyer, because maybe you didn't even understand the language even at the time of the interview and what to do. Okay, because you didn't even understand what you were asking. I asked you, is it a bona fide marriage? And you said no. And what that means is you were saying, yes, it was a business marriage. And I said, is it real or fake?
No.
And then you said, no, it's real.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't understand your question.
Of course you didn't understand. I get it. I understand. That's what I'm saying. If you didn't understand the question, even in the language of me talking to you, I can't expect that you'll be able to pass an adjustment interview without the help of a lawyer. You're in a real marriage. Let's prove it. Hold on 1 second, okay?
Okay.
Let's go to Kelly in Patterson, New Jersey.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, Kelly.
How you doing? I have a quick question. My green card expired last year. Was it last year? About 1 year and 6 months now, and I got an extension for 18 months. But the extension is running out in November. So what should I do?
You should get, even if you don't, you need to go get an extension on your I-751. You would get a stamp in your passport, an I-551 stamp. You would make you go down to the local office and get it, but they're only going to give you the stamp if you need to travel or if your employer is telling you that you need some evidence of legality to work.
Okay, but Brad, I tried calling them. And I wasn't getting anybody, so I should just go to the office?
Just go to the office, say, here's my travel documents, I need to travel, or here's a letter from my employer saying I'm going to get fired in 4 weeks if I don't get something stamped in my passport.
And what's the form again? What?
You need an I-551 stamp in your passport.
I-551 stamp.
Yeah.
Okay, Brad, thank you so much.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
All right. Let's go to Kwaku in Cincinnati.
Hi,
how are you?
My name is Kweku. I'm good. How you doing?
Good. What's going on?
Brad, I have a quick question to ask you. I came here through the U.S. Mexico border, and then I seek for asylum. So my asylum is still pending, and I applied for my I-130 and then I-485. I got married, it's a bona fide marriage, and then I got my I-130 and I-485 submitted. So they gave me an RFE, which says I should present my I-94, which they did not give me I-94 when I got to the border to seek for asylum. So I have a lawyer. I told my lawyer about that, and then when I went to the immigration procedure, I went to detention center. They gave me a bond to come out from the detention center.
If you were given a bond to come out of the detention center, you were paroled into the United States. So they don't need an I-94. You need evidence that you were paroled into the United States. That would be some sort of document when you left your parole document, which would be on an I-94, some other document they would give you that you were paroled into the United States of America. You're eligible to adjust your status because you're considered an arriving alien. So your lawyer has to make the right argument with the right document.
Okay. And then secondly, my second question is, I have been into the U.S. embassy in my country before, and then it's almost like somewhere 2010, 2011. I don't remember the actual date, but so I got denied with the visa. So when I got here, I told them about me going to the embassy before. Right. When I told them, they said okay. So in the letter that I had from from the immigration, I had a letter that they said when I went to the interview, the reason why they denied me was that I had a document that doesn't belong to me in their application. First of all, it was a friend that filed that for me. He said, "Hey, I'm going to take you there," and then all that. So I just you
may need a waiver for misrepresentation on the marriage case for a potential misrepresentation at the embassy in 2010. I don't know. I would have to see your records.
Okay, so right now, what should I do?
Have a consultation with me. Hold on one second. Let's go to Nisha in Austin, Texas.
Hey, Brad, how are you?
Good. How are you, Nisha?
I'm good. Brad, my mom, she's a green card holder, and I want to apply a re-entry permit for her. So if she leaves the United States before the biometrics comes, so does it affect on her green card residency status?
No, she just has to file the re-entry permit while she's physically in the United States. If the biometric appointment may be waived, if they already have her biometrics, then fine. If they schedule her for biometrics, she would have to come back. She would have to fly back to the United States one time just to take the biometrics and then leave again.
Okay.
But my guess is that they will waive the biometrics if they already have taken your mother's biometrics in the past. So the bottom line is she has to be physically here in the U.S., file the I-131 for the re-entry permit. As long as it's received by immigration while she's physically here, she could leave and hope the biometrics she doesn't have to come back for biometrics. If she does, she'll have to come back one time.
Yeah, she is in here already, and I applied about 2 years ago for the re-entry permit. So do you think they have already in their system the biometrics?
Then I would assume they do.
Okay. And do you have any idea how long it's going to take to get the appointment after filling?
Well, if you applied for a re-entry permit 2 years ago and you still haven't heard, I think you need a lawyer to start looking at this case.
Oh, okay.
All right? Because it should have been approved by now.
Okay, so I need a lawyer for that?
You don't need a lawyer for that. I'm suggesting you have a lawyer look at it because it seems odd that 2 years goes by and you don't have a re-entry permit yet.
Okay.
All right.
It's expired, though. The last one was expired.
So this is her second re-entry permit?
Third re-entry permit.
All right. Well,
this is the third one.
Eventually, they're going to deny it. They're going to say, lady, give up your green card already. You know, how many times can you tell the government, I intend to live in the United States with my green card, and then you don't do it?
Because, she applied for my brother through her green card.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm just saying, if you keep asking for reentry permits, eventually they're going to be denied. And the reason they will be denied is this. When you make an application for a reentry permit, you're saying to the government, I'm going on a temporary trip outside of the United States. It's going to be more than a year. I don't want to lose my green card. This is what I'm doing. And at the end of the 2-3 years that I will be temporarily out of the U.S., I want to be able to come back with my green card because I intend to live permanently in America. If she makes that application and then comes back and says, I'm going to do the same thing, I'm going to again and again, the government's eventually going to say, lady, you're living in another country. You have no intention of ever living in the United States with a green card. So I'm just throwing that out there for you. You could wait. You could wait for immigration to make a decision. You can contact a lawyer. That's up to you. Hold on. Let's go to Kobe in Trenton, New Jersey. Kobe.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Brown.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing good. I have 2 questions for you. I came here on a student visa, on F1 student visa, about a couple years ago. So I got married last year, and I filed for adjustment of status. I got married to a green card holder, by the way. So I filed for adjustment of status. So my I-130 was approved, and it was approved this month. So they send it to National Visa Center. So now I don't know if I should wait until my wife becomes a U.S. citizen or...
What is your status here right now?
I'm out of status right now.
Okay. And how long has your wife been a resident?
4.5 years.
Okay. So you have 2 choices. You can do a provisional waiver and process to go home and come back. The provisional waivers are taking about 18 months now, and who knows what the backlog is in your particular home country once the waiver is approved. So maybe if you're going to do a waiver and then go home and come back, maybe you're looking at 2.5, 3 years from now for getting a green card. Or in about 90 days from now, your wife can file for citizenship. Probably take about 6 months for citizenship, then you can adjust your status, and that should take less than a year. Seems like the much easier, faster route would be wait on your wife's citizenship.
Okay. Then the second question is, my sister, she came here with her daughter. So my cousin adopted the child. The child is 12 years old. So my cousin adopted the child, and my cousin is already a U.S. citizen. So now they don't know if they should file for...
when did they adopt her?
They adopted her in the United States.
July what?
Pardon me? Say that again, sorry.
When did they adopt her?
Last year.
July when? July 2020?
July 2020, yeah.
Okay. And does this child live with them now?
Yes.
Okay.
In Europe.
Okay. Did they have legal guardianship of this child before the adoption or no?
Yes, they have legal guardianship.
Okay. They should file an adjustment application when they can satisfy these 3 things. 1, the child living in the same home as them for 2 years. 2, legal guardianship of the child for 2 years. If they don't never got legal guardianship of the child and went straight for adoption, legal guardianship starts at the time of adoption. So assuming they did not have legal guardianship before, then they're going to wait 1 more year before filing the adjustment. And of course, the adoption has to be before 16, which happened. So it all depends on, was there a legal guardianship before, or they went straight for adoption, and how long that child's been living in the household with them.
They went straight for the adoption.
Okay, all right. So then they probably have 1 more year of waiting, and then in a year from now file the adjustment. When they file the adjustment in a year from now, the child's going to go from nothing to U.S. citizen because the child's under 18 and being sponsored for a green card by a U.S. citizen parent, even an adopted parent.
Okay, so they should wait for 1 more year and then file for adoption.
Right. Now remember, 2 years living in the same house, 2 years from the date of adoption, file the adjustment.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, thanks so much.
All right, you're welcome.
Bye.
Fiona, in Port St. Lucie, Florida.
Hi, Brian.
Hi,
Can you hear
Fiona.
me?
How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi. I have a question for you, or two questions. I have a friend. She's married legally, and she's living in a different state, and her husband is living in a different state. Would that pose a problem for immigration?
Yes.
How so?
Because you have to prove it's a bona fide marriage. The way the government proves it's a bona fide marriage is, do you and your spouse live together every day? You go to sleep in the same bed at the end of the night? Do you have a financial relationship? The fact that they live in two different states would lead the government to believe this is not a bona fide marriage.
Oh, okay, but what if the person have their address in the state where the husband lives?
You can split all the hairs you want. And yes, there are people who live apart and are able to prove it's a bona fide marriage. I would tell you that the likelihood of success of living in two different states and filing an adjustment of status application is like 10-20% success rate. Yes, people get through, but it's very rare. You want to be able to get a green card, that should be the most important thing in your life, and you're in a real marriage with your spouse, then live with your spouse.
Okay. Thank you. And I got one more question for you.
Yes.
My husband. My husband and I are married like since 2016, but he got his green card in 2019. He wants to know how soon can he file for citizenship.
When did he get his green card?
January 2019.
He get 5 years from January 2019, which would be January 24, less 90 days, so November 2023.
Okay, so it's not 3 years if you're married?
He's married
to a U.S. citizen? Because I am a U.S. citizen.
Oh, I didn't realize you were a U.S. citizen. My apologies.
I am.
When did you get married?
We got married in 2016.
In 2016?
Yeah, but he got his green card in 2019.
Through his dad?
No, through me.
Oh, through you? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Then I misunderstood that. Okay, yeah. So 3 years, 2022, January 2022, November 2021, he can file for his citizenship in another month.
Oh, really? Wow, yeah. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
90 days before the 3-year anniversary.
Okay, 90 days before the 3-year anniversary. Do you hear that? Okay, and another question. What if he wanted to file citizenship for his mother, who's a Jamaican national?
He can't file. You can't file citizenship for a mother because the mother first has to get a green card. He can't file for his mother's green card till he becomes a citizen. So the process is going to be he becomes a citizen, then he files for his mother's green card.
Oh, okay. So is there like a time frame of how soon after he gets his citizenship or not?
The same day. Same day he gets his citizenship, he can file for his mom.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate your answer.
My pleasure. Good luck.
Have a great night.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Let's go to Ann in Long Island. Ann.
Hi, good night, Brad.
Hi, Ann. How are you?
I have a couple of questions to ask you.
Go ahead.
I recently got my permanent resident card.
Great.
But I have two sons that overstayed their visitor's visa. We're from Jamaica, but they are minors. One is 8 and one is 10.
Okay.
Question number one is when I got the permanent resident card, could I petition for them even though they overstayed?
How did you get your green card?
My daughter. I'm the parent of a U.S. citizen.
Got it. Okay. The answer is yes. You should file I-130 visa petitions for them.
That's right.
File I-130 visa petition for each of them, even if they've overstayed their time. They are minors. They are immediately eligible for their green card, but they can't adjust their status because you're only a resident. But since they're minors, you can bring them back to Jamaica to pick up their green card. They don't have a bar to re-entry because
they won't get stuck back in Jamaica?
No, because you would be taking them for their green cards before they turn 18.
Okay.
Okay. Other than that, you're going to wait another 6 years to get them a green card here, because then you're going to wait on your citizenship, which is 5 years plus a year to become a citizen. It's much faster and more beneficial for them. File the I-130. As long as they leave the U.S. before their 18th birthday, there's no bar to re-entry, and they would get a green card and return in 2 weeks. And you just take them home and back.
So I would have to get a waiver before they leave?
No, you don't need a waiver if they're under 18.
Okay, second question is, since I'm going to petition for them and they're on food stamps, would that affect would that affect me filing for them if they're on food stamps?
Ultimately, yes. At some point, yeah, you're going to have to figure out a way to get off food stamps.
Okay. Thank you very much, Brad.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you, yes.
Okay. Let's go to Cadian in Freeport. Cadian.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm sorry, but I was distracted.
Okay.
Good night. I'm asking two questions. So my green card expired July 29, 2021, but I put in the renewal from February 2021.
Okay.
But I did my biometrics and everything, but I received the email and everything saying that, we have reviewed we are waiting on decision for your case. That's all, nothing more. But my green card has expired from July the 29th, and I didn't hear anything. Should I be worried or should I just wait?
Well, you can wait unless you need. Shouldn't be worried. You're a permanent resident. You just don't have evidence of it. If you don't need the evidence at the moment of your permanent residence,
my son do. My son needed for a new job.
Okay, so then he needs a letter from his employer saying he needs a green card or he's going to get fired, and then you got to go down to the local immigration office and get a stamp in the passport.
All right, thank you very much,
Okay.
Brad. I appreciate it.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Let's go to Ladine in the Bronx.
Good night, Brad.
Good night. How are you, Ladine?
I'm fine, thank you, Brad. Brad, I have a question. I petitioned for my daughter in 2016, February.
Mm-hmm.
I paid all fees and everything. Now I'm an American citizen. I want to know how long more.
The I-130 was approved. I assume she's over
Yes,
21?
everything is approved, Brad. Everything.
She's over 21 years old?
Yeah, she turned 26 of this year.
Okay. Is your case at the National Visa Center?
Yes.
And your daughter, I hear a Jamaican accent. Is she in Kingston? Is this Jamaica?
Yes, my daughter lives in Jamaica.
In Jamaica, yeah. Well, she should be eligible for a green card in the next year or so. The problem that you have is COVID. And right now, the U.S. Embassy in Kingston, Jamaica is closed. They're not even processing cases right now. When they reopen, they're backlogged about a year.
Wow.
So ultimately, yes, your daughter is eligible for her green card shortly, because her priority date will be reached shortly. The problem becomes COVID and Kingston, Jamaica, and the U.S. Embassy, and the fact that they're closed. And every day they're closed, more and more people get backlogged into the system. In real world, pre-COVID, I would tell you, yeah, she'll be here next year. In post-COVID, I don't have the slightest idea.
Oh, my God.
So just hang in there right now.
Oh, God. So right now I don't need a car. I was wondering if I need you.
Not at the moment. Not at the moment. Call me next year. If you
next
haven't
year
heard.
about this time or earlier, Brad?
In the spring.
In the spring?
Yes.
Okay, Brad.
Okay.
Thank you.
All
You're
right.
doing a wonderful
Thank you
job,
very much.
Brad. Keep it up and
Thank you,
squat
Ladine.
up.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
All right. And by the way, if you didn't get your immigration question asked and answered, you could always follow me on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein. You could drop me a DM. I will try to answer your question as best as I can. You can also follow us at Brad Show Live. You follow us at Brad Show Live. As I always say, you can't handle 2 hours, but you can handle 30 seconds. Our best content on Brad Show Live on Instagram. And of course, our newest, most popular social media, at least in terms of growth, TikTok. Follow Brad Show Live on TikTok. You can get a personalized video from me answering your immigration question. And Jonathan.
Yep, you guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And you guys can find me at Vanessa.Contreras TV.
And later in the show, I will be speaking with award-winning Syrian-born artist Rashwan Abdelbaki about his journey to America and what it was like arriving in January 2017, 1 week before the Trump administration travel ban was put into effect.
And now, just like Brad says every day, our fastest growing social media platform, TikTok, where we have 2.2 million views in just 1 week. We have a new segment where we're going to show you one of the TikTok videos that we have posted. So make sure you check out Brad Show Live on TikTok and check out this video.
No, sorry, you probably did not get deported for a DUI. If you're a DACA applicant, a DUI is a significant misdemeanor which prevents you from renewing your DACA or getting it in the first place. Most likely, it sounds like it prevented you from renewing your DACA because you had a significant misdemeanor, which is the DUI. If you can't renew your DACA because you have a significant misdemeanor, guess what? You're undocumented in America. The reason why you have DACA is deferred action for childhood arrivals, meaning they are going to defer your deportation. But because you had a DUI, you could not get into the program. You became undocumented. You got deported for being undocumented, not for DUI. DUI is not a deportable offense, but it prevented you from getting in the DACA program. That's probably what happened. Sounds like you need a good lawyer. Wow, my face right in there.
Right in there.
I'm right in there on TikTok. All right, social media check-in. Let's check it out.
All right, first one comes from Alan Pastanabo, Valencia, Brad Squad VIP member. Am I allowed to work as a teacher even though I'm out of status? I'm married to a U.S. citizen and have approved I-130.
Yeah, you can work married, undocumented, as long as you're married to a U.S. citizen. It's not going to prevent you from getting a green card. Are you working legally? No. But is it going to prevent you from getting a green card? No. So go work.
Lawrence Nadib, a Brad Squad VIP member. My EAD renewal via Asylum was sent and the biometric fee was paid. Do I need to do another biometric?
Well, hopefully not. If you've taken a biometric in the past, hopefully they'll just use your old biometrics and they won't ask you for a new one.
Okay, Liz Muhonja, a Brad Squad VIP member. My interview date is scheduled for October 14th with no work permit yet. Is this something to worry about? Is the vaccine required to go to the AOS interview?
The vaccine is required to go to the AOS interview. You got to show you are vaccinated. Do not worry that you didn't get your work permit. Some people just don't get it and you still get your green card. I don't hear you, Vanessa.
I'm so sorry. Andrea Wilson, Brad Squad VIP. My husband and I have been married for almost 3 years now. He filed to adjust my status in May of this year. I moved to live together with him in the U.S. mainland after my J-1 contract ended. He is becoming emotionally abusive at this point. Will I still be able to adjust my status and get the green card if he refuses to attend the adjustment interview with me?
If you are married to a resident or a citizen and there's extreme emotional abuse, you can get your green card on your own. You would have to file a separate VAWA application. My advice is always, you don't have to stay in an abusive relationship. You can leave and still get your green card.
Ansha Hippolyte, Brad Squad VIP member. How long does it take for NVC to make a decision on a case after the requested information was sent to them in May? They acknowledge that they received it. I'm a 20-year-old who has already done her interview last October.
Where's the case?
It just says NVC. It doesn't say exactly where.
I don't know who's sponsoring her. I would need to know a lot more information.
Mm-hmm.
Dawa Sherpa on YouTube. I came as a student and quit my F1 and filed for asylum. Now I am working as a registered nurse in a hospital with asylum case pending. Can my hospital sponsor and file a green card for me?
As long as you were never out of status, the answer would be yes. If you came to the United States on a visa, let's say a tourist visa, and you filed for asylum within that 6-month period, you've always been in status. You can do a job sponsorship and be eligible to adjust, presumably.
Boris Ba Niam on YouTube. Does a civil case go to your criminal record?
No.
Kishal Narola on YouTube. Can I win my defensive asylum in court with this current administration?
Yes.
Manoj Gautam on YouTube. What are the predictions for U visa if I've applied already?
The prediction is that they hopefully will make a bona fide determination on your U visa, give you a work permit that would allow you to get your social and driver's license. But in terms of having an approval of a U visa, they're taking years and years and years. Is a huge backlog. All right.
And last one.
Oh, I'm sorry. We have one more. My apologies.
Shanika Gale on YouTube. I've gotten advanced parole through VAWA, but everyone is telling me not to leave the country because I might not be allowed to come back to the U.S. Should I travel?
Yes, you have advanced parole. You have a pending adjustment. Don't listen to everybody. Just listen to me. You can travel. Just don't stay out for more than a month at a time. Why do I know that? Because maybe 25,000 people I know have traveled on advanced parole personally throughout my career as a lawyer. And they've all returned. So you will return too, I promise. All right, so Rashwan Abdelbaki, he's an award-winning Syrian visual artist who came to the United States in January 2017 through a fellowship with the Institute of International Education's Artist Protection Fund. Rashwan and I spoke about his immigration journey to the United States and what life in Syria is like. Let's watch. Rashwan Abdelbaki is an award-winning Syrian visual artist who has been based in the New York area since January 2017. Arriving in America just 1 week before the Trump administration's travel ban was put into effect. Rashwan joins me to discuss his experience immigrating to the United States of America, his home country of Syria, and how his identity as a Syrian artist based in America is reflected in his work. Thank you very much for joining me, Rashwan. I really appreciate it. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. Happy to be with you.
My pleasure. So let's get right into it. You are Syrian, and
yes.
You arrived 1 week before, let's call it what it is, the Muslim travel ban. It is what it is. I don't care what anybody says. Does it make you feel like you're lucky? Do you feel guilty that others were left behind?
To be honest, I didn't understand the travel ban in the beginning. For me, it's just like a decision from the government. And it's against 7 countries, including my country. So I didn't understand the impact from the travel ban exactly. But the foundation, the Institute of International Education, Artist Protection Fund, the people who offer me this fellowship and brought me to New York, of course, in the beginning to the American Academy in Rome, and after that to New York, they asked me to come to New York before the travel ban. And when I arrived, I start hear from people living in New York how much horrible that travel ban against me and other country. Actually, I felt the impact from the travel ban after a couple months when my lawyer asked me to now time to change the visa. In that time, I had J1 visa and I have to change the visa. And he suggests you have 2 choices, or asylum file. And I said no. And he said, the other choice is the O1 visa. If we get the O1 visa for you, you have 2 problems. First, you can't work other job. You will work as an artist. So this is what you can do, make shows, sell work, and you are not able to leave the country, like even to Canada. So in that time, I start feel the bad impact from such a racist and stupid decision, actually.
So did you change to an O1 visa?
I did.
Do you have a green card now?
Now I have a green card. I just got my green card last November under the category people with extraordinary ability.
Right. How did the process of you being an artist in Syria translate into I have a visa to come to America?
I didn't plan for it, or think about it. I just applied for a fellowship. So I was one of the other first 7 to get this visa. And Alison, the art director, called me and she said, Rashwan, your fellowship is going to start from the American Academy in Rome for 4 months. And after that, you will come to New York to follow up your fellowship. So, I mean, the feeling was fantastic. I'm coming to New York. You know what I mean?
How did reality of being in New York as an artist differ from what your thoughts would be?
It's a mix from everything. People like me, we will see New York in the movie, which is not the same in reality. But still, there's the soul of New York. It's fantastic. Like all the time, I have this feeling about New York. Like I feel like, oh my God, I'm in New York. You know what I mean? So
were you in Damascus originally?
My work was in Damascus, yeah.
What was it like on a day-to-day basis living in Syria, in a country that's been at war for?
Syria in general, it's a peaceful country, you know, and it's cheap. Many people, they will came to visit several times. The country was in music and theater and light everywhere. And in 1 year flipped, everything became like upside down, violent, and no security. You are afraid from everywhere, you know, like because you don't know if you are coming back alive.
Was there ever a time when you felt, I may not live tomorrow?
One time I was in Damascus, and this bomb just fell down in the next street while I'm taking my car, and I remember the sound, and I'm talking about the middle of the city. So I just remember the sound, because when this bomb come close from the sky, just you will hear this tiny sound, and you have second to move. But that doesn't mean maybe you will save your life if you move.
You don't know where to move to.
Yeah,
you don't know where the bomb's going to go.
Exactly.
Do you feel like living during a time of war that there's some sort of trauma that you still carry with you, or do you feel guilty that you're here and you've left others behind in a dangerous situation?
Actually, yes, a little bit. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I still have a friend and I still have family there. I feel guilty sometimes that I'm not with them, but in the same time, it's a future. I owe that for my life and my art. And that's why I left.
You were able to apply somewhere and get a visa to come to America. How did you know from this small town in southern Syria what to do?
I didn't. That's why I was lucky.
The fellowship found you?
Yeah, it was full of grant for 1 year.
Why do you think of all the extraordinarily talented artists in the world, they found you?
I think just I'm lucky. But even if you are extraordinary, it doesn't matter. Sometimes you will get rejected. So I don't know why. It's hard to get the visa.
Were you able to sell art in Syria during the war?
Actually, in Syria, it's hard because the country, it's more to produce art than selling. But yeah, there is a few galleries they were able to sell some work.
People are going to find this maybe surprising. You know, you come from Syria. They had a Muslim ban.
Yeah.
You're not Muslim.
I'm not.
What are you?
My family are Druze. Druze it's one of the minority in Syria. We are less than 1% in the population in Syria. Usually Druze, they located in mountain. It's a kind of in their history to live in the mountain, and because they are few, so in this way, maybe they protect themselves and somehow they have different practice. They believe in God. We believe in all the prophets, in Muhammad and Jesus. It's separate religion, yeah.
Did you have friends who were Muslims?
Oh, many. Many, yeah.
So not every Muslim was against every Druze.
This is a joke. You know what I mean? Like, and
that's what you see in the news.
Yeah. This is the stereotype. There is 1 billion Muslim in the world. If there is 1 million tourists, that means 0.0001% of all these people like the radical or whatever. This is not a problem. It's just like, you know, like it's just joke. Islam is not like this. And I have many Muslim friends. My best friend now live in Spain and he's Muslim. Let me explain it, how these people find a way. First, many of them, they take advantage on poor people and they offer them money because they don't have money. And that's how they recruit them, you know, or use them. They make them be afraid. If you didn't do that, we will kill you or kill your family. So it's a joke to make a story about a whole religion just for radical group. And you can see this radical in every religion.
What do you need to put Syria back together? There's a lot of countries involved. There's a lot of militias involved. Everybody's got a little part of there's like a lot of different groups there. How do you put it all together?
It's complicated, but I mean, if you will ask me what's the solution, leave Syria alone and they will find a way.
Turkey's in there, Russia's in there, US is in there, Israel is part, you know, Lebanon, Hamas is in Syria. Everybody's in Syria.
Many countries involved in the Syrian story. And once they leave it alone, I think they will find a way. Let the Syrian decide what they want. If you are able to help them, so help them. Stop thinking about your benefit and think about the Syrian.
Do most people want to leave?
It depends. Some people, they will never, ever leave. Some of them, they are looking for a new opportunity. But no, there's many people that want to stay, whatever is the situation. You know, their homes there, and they have family, and they have kids.
All right. So tomorrow I'm going to speak with Rashwan about his art and his message to other immigrants navigating the United States immigration system. We're ready to do 9 questions in 50 seconds.
We are.
Let's go.
Can someone on withholding removal reapply for asylum?
No.
Does the petitioner need to be vaccinated for a marriage-based interview?
No.
Can I adjust my status with a pending asylum case?
If you get married, yeah.
Can I expedite my citizenship?
Probably not.
Can I travel to the Dominican Republic with a green card and a non-US passport?
Yes.
Can I travel with an RE6 category green card?
If you have a green card, you can travel.
Can I apply for a green card on F1?
If you have a sponsor.
How long does it take to get a work permit through marriage?
About 6 months.
Can I travel on advanced parole if I overstayed my B1, B2?
Yes, if you have advanced parole on a pending adjustment, yes.
Wow. Oh.
We did it!
We did that.
All right. All right.
We did that.
All right. Comments of the day, guys. It's like very. What'd you do?
I got it here though.
All right.
All right. First comment of the day. Kavar Harris saying Brad's show is the best immigration show in the universe.
Universe! Not just on Earth.
Not just on Earth. That's deep.
That's very deep.
Joan Ambitious Powell saying, yes, Brad, my kid's success is the biggest gift. Amen.
It is true.
Nice.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Third one comes from Kamala Duki Rashad saying, just a friendly note, chai means tea in Hindi. So when we say chai tea, we're asking for tea. You are having chai tea, you're having chai, not chai tea. The words chai tea is more of a commercial purpose. So we're learning.
Wow,
so
I want you to know something. That wasn't just a friendly, that was hashtag facts.
Yeah.
I like that. Thank you very much. So from now on, we're just drinking chai. Not chai tea. Just chai.
See,
I did not know that.
Commercial purposes. Chai.
I definitely say that.
I say chai tea all the time.
I didn't know that. I learned something new.
Yeah.
I love learning something new. Thank you very much. That was a great comment of the day.
That was. Thank you, Kamla.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, the next one comes from Manny saying, in Korean, we pronounce tea cha, so we're almost the same. Okay.
I didn't know that either. Wow. I'm going to tell you something. A lot of tea facts today.
All right. And our last one for today comes from Mariatu Bangura saying, thanks for advocating for us. We are waiting for the law to pass.
We are waiting for it too. Stay tuned for tomorrow. We'll have more information. It's also hump day.
Woo.
See you tomorrow. Have a great night. So Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK. 1-800-529-5465.